Today I am going to explain insertion sort with an example. Let's take an unsorted list or array for our demonstration purposes. I have taken a reverse order array or a list. Let's try to understand what is insertion sort. Insertion sort says we have to loop from 0th index to a length minus 1 index and keep on swapping values which are lower than the key. Let's see. Iteration 1, when I equals to 0, j equals to I minus 1, always in insertion sort. Here key value will be 5. For first iteration we skip it completely, keeping in the mind that we assume in insertion sort that first element is already sorted. Let's go to iteration 2. Here I equals to 1, j equals to 1 minus 1, which will be 0. Here key first index from this should be 4. Let's see. For j equals to 0, we are going to check if 4, which is first index, is lesser than 5. If it is true, we are going to do a swap operation. So after this swapping, our list will look something like this. Now iteration 2 is complete since j0 is the only value. We'll go to iteration 3. Here I value increases to 2, j increases to I minus 1, which is 2 minus 1 is 1, and the loop goes from 1 to 0. Let me mention I equal to 2, j equal to 1. Here key will be 2, 0, 1, 2. Key will be 3. We will check whether 3 is smaller than 5, which is true. Will swap. The output will look like for j equal to 0, this operation is done. Now we'll move to j equal to 1. This is j equal to 1 and this is j equal to 0. We'll see whether 3 value is smaller than 4, which is true. Will swap. 5, 2, 0. Here we have sorted till iteration 3. Let's go for iteration 4. It says I equals to 3, j equals to 2, and key here will be third value, which should be 0, 1, 2, 3. The key will be 2 here. For j equal to 2, we are going to check if 2 is smaller than 5, which happens to be true. In this case, what we do is swap a value. The output should look like 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 0. We'll decrement the value of j if 2 is smaller than 4, which happens to be true. Swap. the output here should look like, now finally, j equal to 0, which happens to be the last value for iteration 4. We'll check if 2 is smaller than 3, which happens to be true. We'll perform a swap operation again. The output should look like this. Just to remind, just in case if this condition happens to be false, we are not going to perform any operation. We'll just continue and skip the rest of the execution. Let's go for iteration 5. Here I value increases to 4, j value increases to 2, and key increases to, the key value happens to be 1 here for j equal to 3. The 3 value is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. It should be 1. We'll check with the last value, and that should be 5. It happens to be true, so we'll swap. The output should look like, sorry, this is 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 0. For j equal to 2, it will check if 1 is smaller than 4, which happens to be true. We'll swap. The output should look like 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 0. For j equal to 3, j equal to 1, it should look like 1 smaller than 3, which is again true. We'll swap. We'll check for j equal to 0. If 1 is smaller than 2, which is true in our case, we'll perform a swap operation. As we are moving ahead, we can see that partial values of this array or the unsorted list is getting sorted. Now we'll move to iteration 6. For iteration 6, I value should be 5, j equal to 4, and key happens to be 0. For j equal to 4, we'll check if 0 is smaller than 5. If it is true, swap. So the output should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 5. For j equal to 3, we'll check 0 smaller than 4, which happens to be true. We'll swap again. It is 1, 2, 3, 0, 4, 5. For j equal to 2, we'll do a swap. 0, 3, 4, 5. For j equal to 1, 0. Since this condition is also true, we'll swap. The output should look like this. Is the final iteration as per our algorithm. Since we have reached to the length of array or our unsorted list, what we have taken for example, now we can see we have taken 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 array of 6 elements. Now we have sorted this into a ascending order array. For this algorithm, the best case should be when the array is already sorted. So that should be big O of n. The worst case should be O of n square, since we are looping in two arrays, and that too nested array, and the average case here will be n square, because in any condition we have to loop into two nested arrays in any of the condition. So this is insertion sort. I hope you are able to understand and able to follow. Thank you.